Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to session number 1 of your Strength B workouts. Today we are starting off with our single arm dumbbell flat bench press. So here I have the dumbbell rested on my leg. I'm going to use both hands to get it into position. I have a nice wide base driving my feet into the ground, creating some tension on the opposite arm. I'm gonna bring that dumbbell towards my lower chest, elbows at a 45-degree angle, press up towards the ceiling. Do this for the designated number of sets and repetitions. Then when you're switching sides, make sure to roll the dumbbell across your chest and perform the same number of reps on the other arm. And then we are moving on to the seated cable row. So we're gonna come this way. So for our seated cable rows, I'm gonna load this up. Most people can pull a lot more weight than they think on rows. So I'm also doing this underhand. You can do this overhand if you want. I'm gonna start off with a nice big chest with my head and neck aligned with the rest of my spine. Let my arms lengthen fully, pull my elbows next to my rib cage, really squeezing my shoulder blades together and then fully lengthening the arms. Try your best not to swing your body forward and back just like that. So maintain that posture, elbows back towards the rib cage for the designated number of repetitions. And then the last one of the A's, we're gonna come back to this side of the gym for our Cossack squats. On this one here, I like to hold the dumbbell underneath my chin. Feel free to explore whichever way is more comfortable with for you on this one. I got a nice wide base. I'm gonna push my butt back as far as I can, allow my shoulders to come forward, stand up nice and tall in the middle, and do the same thing on the other side. Push back, sit nice and low, stand up tall in the center, push the hips back, work with your range of motion here. If you need to do this with no weights, then you can do this with no weights. That's your 3 exercises in the A's. And first one of the B's, we have dumbbell open book presses. So here, what I'm gonna do is grab some light dumbbells. I'm not gonna go too heavy on these, I'll go with 15s. And kick the dumbbells up to my shoulders. I'm gonna start off with the elbows in a 90-degree angle. I'm going to flare them out to the side, press up, and then I'm gonna close at the top, elbows come close together on the way down, and I'm gonna repeat. So I'm gonna open the book at the bottom, press, close that book at the top. This is your open book press right here, keeping tension on the shoulders. Remember, make sure to keep that one a little on the lighter side so you can perform that properly. Second exercise of the B's, we're gonna go into a single arm vertical row from a plank position. So here guys, what I'm gonna do is set up the cable towards the bottom. And from here, I'm gonna grab this handle, walk away just a little bit, and I'm going to set up in a plank position with a nice wide base so I can keep my hips leveled here. And then from here, I'm going to extend one arm, pull that arm next to my rib cage, fully elongate that working arm. If this is too challenging, you can do this from the knees as well, aiming for 10 on one side or the designated number of repetitions on one side and the other side. That is your single arm vertical row. And after that, I'm gonna come over here and do back extensions. On this one, you wanna make sure the machine is set up properly. So here, I wanna make sure it's complementary to my hips. And if your machine has an adjustable leg pad, you can adjust that as well. So I'm gonna test this out. I actually need to lower this a little bit. Perfect. All right, guys, so on this machine here, every time I set up for this, I like to use the handles provided so that way I can really get my lower body position, big chest, and push my hips into the machine and the pads. I'm gonna lift my chest up, make sure I have a neutral spine from my head to my hips, and allow my trunk to flex towards the ground, maintaining that posture, and come back up. So I'm really gonna drive my hips into the pads, squeezing the glutes at the top, looking down on the way down, allowing my eyes to slowly migrate up with the rest of my body. That's your back extension there. Third exercise of the B's. What do you guys got? Actually, that was the third exercise. Going on to the C's, we have our tornado ball tornado ball or rotational med ball slam. So if you have a tornado ball, let me show you guys what this looks like. So here's our tornado ball that we use quite often in here. And if this is your first time using this, let's go over some things here. I'll show you guys from this angle. I'm going to put the rope around my wrist like a watch, and then through my thumb and index finger, nice and tight grip here. And then from here, I'm going to have the ball in the other hand. I'm going to give it a really strong toss because this is going to create the momentum that I need to take it from one side to the next. Be careful not to swing it from left to right, but create a big arcing motion on this movement. So here, strong toss, hands together, hit it hard, let your arms go up nice and high so you can create some momentum on your hits. Do that for the designated number of sets and reps. Be careful as you finish off as well. If you don't have one of these, I'm gonna show you guys a rotational med ball slam, which looks like this. So you grab your med ball, you're gonna take it up overhead, pivot on the back foot, follow through on your slam, overhead, pivot on your foot, follow through. Notice how I'm taking my entire body into that slam. That is C1. And moving on, guys, we're gonna take it to battle ropes and slide board seesaw for your core movement. Let's go there and there. All right, guys, C2, we have battle ropes. So I got a nice wide base. I'm gonna grab my ropes, sit into it, trunk flexed. Keep your arms nice and tight and try to get into a rhythm. Notice how I'm not all over the place here. Stay low, keep it short, keep it tight, get into a rhythm. Do that for the designated number of seconds. And then we're gonna finish off with slide board seesaw. Here I have my toes in the center of the sliders. I'm gonna set up in a nice solid plank position. And then from here, I'm gonna push my entire body back with my elbows and forearms, and then pull my body forward just over my hands, not so much that I'm over here towards the ground or in the mat. I wanna keep my body nice and high as I push back, pull forward. Keep this movement as small as you need to. If you need to hold a plank, you can definitely do that. That is challenging in of itself because you have no traction at your feet. So feel free to hold the plank off your knees or on the knees. Work with what you got, and that is your session number 1 workout in the Strength B section. Hope you guys enjoy. See you in the next one.